It began with a whisper, a private conversation between Joe Rogan and Candace Owens, captured on a studio mic that was never meant to record. No one outside that dimly lit room was supposed to hear it. Yet somehow, within 48 hours, fragments of that dialogue were circulating on encrypted forums, dissected by voices that lived for scandal. Rogan's tone was measured, cautious, almost pleading. "You're walking into something bigger than you realize, Candace," he said. His eyes darted toward the producer's booth. "You think this is about ideology? It's about control." Candace leaned in, defiant but trembling. "Control by who?" she asked. "The donors, the corporations, or the ones pretending to be patriots?" That was the clip that escaped. Only that. Yet it was enough to ignite a wildfire across social media. Theories exploded, Rogan silencing Candace, Candace challenging the establishment, Turning Point USA trying to erase her narrative. But in truth, none of them understood what was really at stake. Behind the headlines, a web was tightening. Charlie Kirk's mysterious death was still unsolved, and Erica Kirk's sudden reemergence on the political scene felt too perfectly timed. Candace had been chasing proof that someone close to Charlie had orchestrated more than just his downfall. And now, the trail was leading straight into the empire of podcasting itself, an empire Rogan unknowingly sat at the center of. Days later, Candace uploaded a video that broke her own silence. Her voice was sharp, her tone theatrical. "They want me gone because I know the names," she said. "I know who funds the voices you think are independent." Her audience leaned in. Then she smiled. "And they're not who you think."
Within hours, the clip vanished, flagged, removed, buried by platforms faster than her team could re-upload it. But like every forbidden thing, its absence made it stronger. Meanwhile, Rogan's team went silent. No statement, no denial, just silence. It wasn't like him. His fans noticed. His next episode opened with 10 seconds of static before cutting to an unrelated guest. Some said it was a technical glitch. Others swore they heard Candace's voice layered beneath the static, whispering a single word: exposed. Behind the curtain, Elon Musk entered the narrative, not through tweets or interviews, but through the infrastructure. Twitter's algorithm, once open and chaotic, began prioritizing old Rogan clips, pushing Candace's name lower each day. It was subtle, invisible to most, but for those watching closely, it looked deliberate. Then a new rumor surfaced. Screenshots of private emails between Donald Trump Jr. and Erica Kirk discussing strategic silence and media reshaping. The context was unclear, but the timing wasn't. It arrived the same day Candace's attorney announced she was being digitally erased. And then, like an earthquake in slow motion, Joe Rogan disappeared for a week. No uploads, no social posts, no sightings. For a man whose voice reached millions daily, the silence was deafening. When he finally resurfaced, he wasn't alone. In a live stream, he appeared alongside Elon Musk. Both looked tense, tired, rehearsed. Rogan laughed awkwardly. "I've been rethinking who I let on this platform." Musk nodded. "Some narratives are dangerous to amplify." Viewers noticed his tone wasn't his own. It was as if someone else was speaking through him, a man once known for his unfiltered curiosity, now choosing every word like a hostage reading from a script. Candace watched the clip from her studio, her expression unreadable. "They got to him," she whispered. Then she turned off the camera. Because deep down, she knew this wasn't about one podcast, one scandal, or one death. This was the beginning of something far more orchestrated.
The night after Joe Rogan's livestream, Candace Owens received a package with no return address. Inside, a single USB drive. No note, no label. Just a faint scent of burnt metal. Her assistant hesitated, but Candace didn't. She plugged it in. The screen flickered, revealing a hidden recording, time-stamped 3 days before Charlie Kirk's death. In the video, he wasn't giving a speech, he was arguing. The frame showed only his reflection in a dark window, but his voice was unmistakable. "You don't get to decide who speaks," he shouted. "That's not your job." A woman's voice replied, calm but cold. "It's not about speech, Charlie. It's about narrative." Candace froze. That voice, she'd heard it before. It was Erica Kirk. Her hands trembled as she watched the final seconds of the footage. Charlie turned as if realizing he was being recorded. "You're going to regret this," he said. Then the screen went black. Candace sat there in silence. She wasn't sure if she was holding evidence or a trap, but she knew one thing: if she released it, the world would never see her the same way again. Hours later, she posted a cryptic tweet. "Truth uploaded. Let's see who deletes it first." Within minutes, the file was everywhere: Reddit, X, Telegram, underground servers. But just as quickly, it began disappearing. One by one, the links went dead. Accounts that shared it were suspended. Even her own video vanished midstream.
Then, Elon Musk tweeted something bizarre. Sometimes freedom of speech requires restraint. It was unlike him, polished, corporate, emotionless. His followers flooded the replies with questions, but there were no answers, just silence. Candace realized this was bigger than any single platform. This was orchestration, a digital curtain drawn by those who controlled both the message and the medium. She decided to go live again, one final time. Her stream began with a long pause. Her eyes were tired, her voice barely above a whisper. "Charlie tried to warn us," she said. "Rogan tried to reason with them, but they're not deleting posts, they're deleting people." For 20 minutes, she spoke without notes, tracing connections between donors, data centers, and private contracts. Each name she mentioned was a thread in a vast machine. Musk, Erica, the Turning Point donors, tech investors tied to shadow funds, and behind them all, an unspoken alliance, powerful, quiet, untouchable. Midway through her stream, viewers noticed something strange. The video began glitching, freezing, skipping seconds. Her image flickered. Then her voice cut out entirely. The chat exploded with panic. When the feed returned, Candace was gone. The chair was empty, the microphone still on, the faint hum of static filling the room. Moments later, Joe Rogan's podcast uploaded a new episode titled Control and Consequence. He spoke slowly, deliberately. Sometimes the truth costs more than the lie, and sometimes you have to choose silence to survive. There was no guest, no laughter, just those words, followed by 10 seconds of dead air. By dawn, Candace's accounts had vanished. No profile picture, no posts, no trace. Her lawyer issued a brief statement. Candace Owens is safe, but unavailable for comment. But even that message disappeared within the hour. Erica Kirk, meanwhile, was seen attending a fundraiser in Washington, smiling beside donors and shaking hands with tech executives. When asked about Candace, she replied simply, "We wish her peace." And that was it. The story faded, buried under new scandals, new distractions. But in dark corners of the internet, fragments of that deleted footage still circulate. Charlie's last words echoing in pixelated form. "You're going to regret this." To this day, no one knows who sent that USB or who erased it from the web. But every now and then, when Joe Rogan pauses mid-sentence during a live broadcast, his listeners swear they can hear a faint echo under his breath. a whisper that sounds like her name.